Hello and welcome to the Energy Show, and this is where we unpack the most urgent stories at the crossroads of people, planet, and progress. I am Tiana, and today we're exploring a growing crisis that doesn't make the headlines enough: climate migration, and now renewable energy could be part of the solution. Now, around the world, millions have been forced to move, not because of war, not because of politics, but because the climate has turned against them. The land dries up, the floods get worse, the storms more violent, and people must leave their homes in search of safety, in search of work, in search of water. What if the answer lies not in more fences or refugee camps, but the answer lies in clean and renewable energy? Let's take a closer look, a very close look at this topic. Understanding climate migration. You need to have the understanding of climate migration, right? Now let's start with the basis of climate migration. Climate migration, it refers to the movement of people driven by climate-related disasters or slow onset changes like the drought, changes like the sea level rise or the desertification. It's already happening. I mean, it's happening already right now, and ASAP it's happening in West Africa. Families leave their farms because the rains no longer come. So you can imagine that families have to leave their farms because the rains no longer come. Even in South Asia, the coastal villages are swallowed by the sea. When the sea level rises, it swallows them. And in East Africa, the pastoralists migrate in search of greener pastures as the dry season extends. According to the World Bank, if no action is taken, over 200 million people could be displaced internally by climate change by the year 2050. Hmm. That's not just a humanitarian crisis, no, it's a justice crisis. It's a crisis that requires justice. Now, let's dive into how renewable energy can help. How do you think, or how can we think renewable energy can help? So, where does renewable energy come in? Well, clean energy isn't just about reducing emission, it's also about building resilience in the places. It's about building resilience in the places people are most at risk. So how? Yes, how? Energy access stabilizes communities. When there's energy access, it stabilizes communities. When villages have the solar mini grids, they can power schools, they can power clinics, they can power irrigation systems. They can as well create jobs. That will reduce the pressure to migrate. No pressure to migrate, no coercion to migrate. Let's talk about clean cooking protect forests. Clean cooking protect forests. Renewable biomass and solar stove prevent deforestation, and one of the major triggers of for environmental degradation and rural displacement. Water access through solar pumping. In drought-prone areas, solar-powered boreholes and pumps gives farmers the water they need to stay and farm productively. Green jobs for displaced youth. I mean, it's in refugee and in climate-affected zones. Training young people in solar installation, in wind tech, and in mobility, it gives them purpose and prevents a cycle of poverty and movement. We all know what poverty can do a lot, so it prevents the cycle of what poverty and movement. Let's highlight real stories and real solutions. Let's talk about what's already working. What's already working, and we can dive in. So in Somaliland, solar power desalination plants now they can provide clean cooking water to communities that once had to migrate during dry seasons. In the Nigeria, the solar irrigation is restoring farming livelihood in villages once abandoned due to drought. Even in Bangladesh, I mean, floating solar power schools keep education going through during the monsoon floods, preventing the displacement of learning itself. Renewable energy doesn't just prevent migration, it gives people a reason to stay. It gives you a reason to stay, it gives myself a reason to stay, and it gives everyone a reason to stay generally. Now, let's talk about what needs to happen. What needs to happen? Of course, energy alone won't stop climate migration, but it's a crucial piece of the puzzle. Yeah, energy alone cannot stop the climate migration, but it's a very crucial piece of the puzzle. To truly make a difference, we need more investments in community-based renewable. There needs to be investment in a community-based renewable. Policies that can actually link climate adaptation with clean energy, right? And also inclusion of migrants, the youth and women in energy planning. You have to include them in whatever you're planning talk about the youth, talk about the women in energy planning. And above all, a global recognition that climate migration is not a future threat. It's a present reality because it's happening and it's already happening now. I will give my final notes, my remark on this climate migration. Now, listen, the climate crisis is forcing people to move, but renewable energy can help them stay. Climate can force you to move, but when there's renewable energy, there's no need for you to move, for you to migrate. Because by powering resilience, lightening up opportunity, and cooling down our planet, clean energy gives us a fighting chance to tackle both the causes and the consequences of climate migration. So wherever you are, whether you're a policymaker, you are an engineer, you are a student or a storyteller like myself, your voice, my voice, your skills, my skills, your choices, my choices, it does matter. It matters enough. So let's power a world where no one is forced to flee the land they love. Thanks for joining me on the Energy Show today. Till next time, when I see you, stay safe, stay kind, and stay climate smart.